Hello everyone. I wanted to make a video here to talk about another part of this chapter on sensation and perception. One I think very important, and that is what we would refer to as the sensory systems. When it comes to sensing and perceiving as a consumer, it is very vital that we get the attention of the consumer. We want to make sure we get their attention. And so that's where the sensory systems come into play. Let me go ahead and talk about these to see what I mean. Okay? Companies really try hard to play upon our senses. Okay? They want us to notice them. So they will do a lot of work to get us to pay attention. And you got to think about it. What senses do they often try to activate? Okay. Have you ever turned around and find yourself walking into a bakery? Oh, the wonderful smells of freshly cooked or baked bread when you go in there. Um, know what it's like to sit in a new car or a new used car and the smell of basically the leather and the interior and things like that, how it looks when you step into or sit in a brand new car. How about, excuse me, entering a store that sells wood furnishings or leather jackets or anything like that that may turn around and catch your attention. Companies work hard to make this happen. They want to catch our attention. And so they go to a lot of trouble through sights and smells and sounds to do that very thing. In fact, it's sort of interesting because some senses turn around and are designed in such a way that they play upon what we call historic imagery. Um, some products, the way they're designed, some ads, the way they're designed, are all about, excuse me, they're trying to get you to notice or remember something from your past. It's interesting, the older we get, the more influential historic imagery can be when you can turn around and do a product up in such a way that basically it causes consumers to think about things of days gone by. We'll actually talk about that more. Be very effective. And then there are times you have what is called fantasy imagery, where really you're trying to create something brand new, an entirely new situation for a customer to notice. And depending upon the product, depending upon your target market, that can be very effective as well. So these are two ways of getting people to notice, and they really do work. So let's talk about these. On this next slide, I've got some photos and I'll add in some of the things that fit. For example, vision. I mean, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You see a picture there related to the latest iPhone, or you see a picture of a particular automobile or a movie or a particular perfume. The picture does so much more to catch your attention that companies spend an awful lot of money for the consumer to be able just to detect those kind of things. When it comes to vision, there's things that we turn around and focus on. All right. uh, Color and emotions. Okay. Color in advertising is very important. It really truly is. And each color seems to have, almost each color seems to have a purpose to it. Okay. For example, red is that evokes an increase in adrenaline. So you see something such as Red Bull ads, they basically are designed to catch your attention. Blue is very relaxing. Black is very aggressive. All right. I always chuckled that the Raiders team that wears a lot of black and silver end up being one of the most heavily penalized teams in the NFL. They're considered to be a very aggressive team in that regard. Even red, white, and blue in this country is considered patriotic. So colors mean a lot. And if you can paint something in a color or series of colors that catch a person's attention, you're doing very well. In fact, companies have worked hard to figure out what are the best colors because a lot of colors come and go. Okay. Let me put these up here for you to see. In the 1980s, doing a little history here. A lot of colors that were very popular were bright orange, bright yellows, bright reds, and things like that. One of the things, if you do a history of consumerism, is that the Nike shoes back in the 1980s, some of them came with markers so that you could actually color the swoosh in the shoe whatever color you wanted to make it. Okay. Um, in the mid 1990s, most of the colors we saw were a lot more highway gray, a lot more evergreen, a lot more yellow, basically even black and green, I guess I would say. This was very, very popular in the 1990s. And as you see there now, in the 2000s, for the last 18 years or longer, much more warm colors is a lot of the thinking that we like in regards to color forecasting. These things mean a lot to us, and you got to keep that in mind. In addition to vision, there is smell. Smell is a very powerful selling technique. It really, truly is. I mean, smells can cause us to remember. Smells can make us relax. Smells can even create tension. They can cause us to get tense in that regard. So those kind of things can and do happen. Now, who's one of the biggest users of the sense of smell? That's sort of easy if you think about it. And one of the biggest is the fragrance industry. Okay, they're all about smells. The whole concept of what they do is about what you smell. And so in that regard, that's very, very big to them. They have to focus on that. They actually have to create visual ads, as you saw earlier, to catch your attention visually, because we can't create smells through products. That's not possible. Some other examples of smells associated with products, I just mentioned perfumes and colognes. Some others is these home fragrance products. All right, things you can now plug right into the wall to make your place smell better. Scented candles. That has been a business in and of itself. Even scents for cars can be very, very popular in that regard. So, you've got vision, you've got smell. These are some of the things that companies focus upon. When it comes to sound, the music and radio industry relies a great deal on sound. That's what they are all about. Though, believe it or not, I mean, for a while there, we came up with music videos, and the focus changed. The visual input was as important as the audio in some regards. Basically, music tempo can influence a mood. The volume can influence basically how relaxed or energized you tend to be. Even the pitch, okay, can say a lot about music. There's a corporation out there called the Muzak Corporation. They are the company that builds and creates, has over 1 million songs in their database that they use and sell to shopping malls, to businesses to play music over their phones, or to turn around and play it in elevators and things like that. So very, very big thing there. Some new products that come out with sound. Siri, as you see there, now talks to you and tells you what's going on. Basically, greeting cards. Greeting cards turn around and are very, very popular. And even other things come into play. So, sound is very, very important, and customers and companies use that to their advantage. Even your smartphones can have different tones for different text messages, different people, and so on. All right. Vision, smell, sounds, and touch. Overall, the research on physical touch is sort of limited. Okay. But touch can evoke emotions. For example, the feel of silk, all right, or being able to touch a fur, or the sensation of a wool garment, or maybe a leather jacket. These are all examples of products that can be influenced by the feeling of touch. We haven't really done a great deal of study of how long and and for what intensity, but it does tend to have an influence. All right. Finally, the last sense I want to talk about right now is taste. Obviously, very important to the food industry is taste. Okay. The problem is that a lot of foods are viewed on internet, television, magazines, and so on, and getting people to notice those can be very, very hard. So, what a lot of companies now do is they have, and have done this for a while, are samples. Go to the store and turn around, and sometimes you might be surprised by the number of samples of new things that you want to try. For them, that kind of work, it pays off in the end. It's something they definitely tend to enjoy. Okay, so there it is, folks. That's basically a breakdown of some of the things related to sensation and perception. We'll get into some of the other aspects, such as attention, in another video. Keep on keeping on.